RBK Nation. What's going on? What's good, family? This is RBK2, Real Boxing Knowledge 2. And this is yours truly, RBK. We are in the building. Now, check this out. We got Porter talking smack. We're going to cover his predictions for the Spence versus Bud Crawford fight. And we've got Bud basically disapproving of the Ugas Spence fight. We're going to cover that. We're also going to talk about the purse split between those two and them not necessarily having an issue, as both fighters do appear to want that fight. So let's chop it up, family. Let's kick it. Uh, Antonio Norman and D. Clagan, RBK's finest, won't be with us on this broadcast. However, they will be joining us soon, holiday schedules permitting. So let's chop it up, fam. All right, fam, let's check this out. Let's get Porter basically criticizing Errol Spence, suggesting that he may lose to Bud Crawford in a late round stoppage. Now, come on now. Everybody knows Porter is in love with Terence Crawford. They're friends, okay? So, and I don't think Bud necessarily cares for Errol Spence, all right? But styles make fights, family. As we all know, we do question, if you just examine the Porter and Crawford fight. Crawford was losing that fight until he caught Porter late. He was being outboxed, out hustled, out everything, okay? So the stoppage with Porter not necessarily being unconscious or just, had got his feelings hurt or something, he got caught a couple times. The stoppage by Porter's father and then the sudden retirement all smacks of the recognition that Mr. Porter is a shell of what he used to be. Basically, Spence knocked the fire out of him from the previous fight, and he didn't have the moxie to be able to continue at that level, and his corner recognized that and blamed it on his conditioning and preparation. We don't buy that for a minute. Suffice it to say, Mr. Porter was a shell of himself, okay? So Bud gets, the accolades for stopping Shawn Porter. All right, that doesn't, like I said, styles make fights. And if you watch boxing and you are an avid enthusiast and not just a casual fan, then you recognize that adjustments are what basically dictate the outcome of many fights. Not all, some of them obviously end in knockout and stoppages, but real stoppages, not fabricated opinion stopping a fight. But, people go out on their shield because they're warriors. All right. That didn't happen between Bud and Porter. All right. So we have his father running that interference on the fight. So we'll never know, if RBK's prediction or at least analysis of that fight between Bud and Crawford was a matter of heart, was a matter of just not being up to the task, as previously witnessed in Porter fights. We didn't see the same Porter that fought Errol Spence. We didn't see the same Porter that fought one-time Thurman. We didn't see any of that, okay? We saw him give up, start punching the floor and, all the dramatics and whatnot. So all of that said, Porter is now suggesting that Errol Spence would lose to Terence Crawford by late round stoppage. If anything, it'd be the other way around, because the magnitude of pressure and beatdown, man down level beatdown that's going to occur between Spence and Crawford, should they ever get in the ring, that is, is going to be tremendous. I mean, you know that Spence means business. He's coming in that fight. There's no showboating and styling and trying to throw it. He's going to be in his chest for 12 rounds. Okay. And he ain't got no bullet in his leg. There are no excuses. We can talk about, the car wreck. That was a while back. He came back and beat without a tune-up. Spence beat Danny Garcia, and Danny ain't no walk in the park. Okay. He was housing Danny in that fight. Danny got a couple highlight body shots that he took. Pretty amazing for Spence to be able to come back from everything that he had going on. But that said, we're going to move on to Bud calling Ugas and Spence's fight. Called Spence a puppet, and he's the puppet master. I mean, this dude is amazing at trash talk. For a long time, we wondered if Bud had any trash talk in him, but he got a pretty good trash talk game. I give it to him. If Porter could have held it together and just not got caught, which, I mean, that's famous last words. Okay, that's what happens in boxing. You know how many fights would, people wouldn't be world champions if they didn't get caught. Okay, so yeah. But we were looking at a trajectory where Bud was behind in the fight, period. All right. That said, moving right along as well. Okay, so I don't know what this business about being a puppet. I don't know what that is. Errol Spence wants to be undisputed. Errol Spence wants to dominate the welterweight division and be the king of the welterweight division. He got 2 fights to do it. He's not interested in a tune-up. He says, he don't need no practice. For the level of competition that he's up against, he doesn't need it. Okay. And we here at RBK Nation, Real Boxing Knowledge 2, fellas, we predicted that Bud was going to use the purse split to duck the fight. We're going to say, oh, yeah, he's going to demand something unrealistic. He does no pay-per-view numbers worth even talking about. Okay. So he's not the big fish that he claimed he was looking for in the ocean. Got to give Bud some credit on that one, though. That was good. If you're going to call somebody out, that's how you do it. So, like I said, he got way more trash talk game. But like Errol Spence said in the media, he said, look, I'm doing all the heavy lifting. I'm facing Ugas. Who you fighting? And then you have Bud with Boots Ennis on his heels and in his chest. And he trying to look around. He trying to get away. he don't want he don't want none of Boots Ennis. Listen, I'm going to give you a prediction. I think we can get Boots if Crawford would man up and fight Boots Ennis and not sit here waiting for an inactive Keith Thurman, who just lost to a 42-year-old Pacquiao. Man, come on. All right. That's who he wants to wait till next July to fight. This is why we think he's full of it. Okay. If he's Billy Badass, like he's trying to act, like he's trying to portray that he the baddest man in the valley. Why you ducking Mr. Boots? We think Boots whoops you bad, convincingly, makes you look like an amateur, and he just got into sport. That's exactly what we think. You can try to style and profile. That kid is going to walk you down. I think Boots could probably, if he pressed the issue, I'm going to give Crawford 4 rounds and he'd get knocked out. He'd be stretched out and embarrassed, talking about, well, it was boxing. Anybody could get caught. Y'all make sure y'all videotape or download this video, like and subscribe to the channel, because if he's foolish enough to take that fight versus Boots Ennis, he's out of there in 4 rounds or sooner. Okay. Styles make fights. I don't think Bud has anything for Boots Ennis at all, because fighting subpar competition has consequences. The level of adjustments and whatnot that you have to make in a fight when you haven't been with an elite level fighter, it's a situation where there are things you can't anticipate, things you can't see because you've never seen him. He ain't never been in a in a ring with a true raw talent. Boots is talented the way Errol Spence was before all of the retinal issues and the car accidents and whatnot. Okay, those things clearly have taken a toll because we had never seen Errol Spence gas, but he gassed with Danny Garcia. He did. Late in the fight, he did gas. The thing that Bud probably is trying to bank on is that's what he's looking at. Oh, Errol, you know, he'll get, look, he's got a lot of time to train. He's whooping top fighters without a tune-up. He's too much for Bud Crawford. You watch what I tell you. He'll have his stamina and everything in check, and he ain't going nowhere. And I'm gonna say this. Think about the talent level of Kell Brook. Kell Brook's talent rivals Terence Crawford. You look at prime Kell Brook. Kell got skills, and he'll get walked down. Now he got skills. He ran out there with Golovkin and got his face broke, dude. But he didn't lose his boxing skills. He may have lost some metal, and Errol was able to stay at that peaked out deal longer than he could, and got him up out of there in his own backyard. So Spence is a closer. He don't know nothing about losing. Okay. Now that said, you know, Ogando can't teach you how to fight Errol Spence. Okay, Bullet Leg Benavidez can't teach you, Terence, how to fight Errol Spence. A washed up Shawn Porter, who quit boxing after this fight, can't teach you how to fight Errol Spence. Okay, Jeff Horn can't teach you nothing about fighting a level of fighter like Errol Spence. You're gonna get your tail handed to you by Boots Ennis, and I'm on the record, and Errol Spence. I will not eat crow. Okay. I'm telling you, I know a lot of people love Terence Crawford. My problem, I do have a problem now. I used to didn't have a problem with Terence. I do now, because he's like this unjust enrichment, talking all of this smack like he done accomplished something. Okay, come on, man. One time Thurman got past Porter. Everybody got past Porter. Everybody except AB. Broner couldn't do it. But Broner put him on his behind. So you claiming glory like you Billy Bet. Adrian Broner. Adrian, the problem, Broner, put Porter on his butt. Okay, so this is not, come on. Spence dropped him too. Come on, man. He just didn't quit after a Spence. He got right back at it, right? He didn't do that with Terrence. You know? I mean, his daddy started crying. They done threw in the towel. I mean, you know, come on, man. You ain't getting but so many points for some bogus stuff. You know, you're not gonna get that the glory that you're supposed to get because you keep getting stuff trying to get it by Jake Ogando. What was it? Ogando? Come on, man. These world-beaten people that have been in the ring with Crawford haven't gone on to do anything. What is Amir Khan doing? Who's he beat? Oh, he gonna fight Kell Brook. Both of them washed up. Come on, man. Now get in the ring, Mr. Crawford. Get in there with Boots in it. While Errol is fighting, doing all the heavy lifting, winning a world title against Ugas. It ain't no walk in the park with Ugas by no means. I got Spence stopping Ugas with a body shot and around late in the 8th round. I could see him putting him down. He ain't gonna be able to continue to take all that punishment because ain't nobody put it on Ugas like that. Nobody. Okay, Spence gonna put it on it. All right. Now, remember, fellas, like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you follow us and make your comments. Put your comments in the comments section. This is Real Boxing Knowledge 2. RBK in the building. RBK's finest, which is Mr. Antonio Norman and D. Clagan. They're going to be back with us on the next few broadcasts. But right now, we wanted to touch base on these things and kind of get it out there. And don't let me forget that purse split. Okay, I don't think that's going to be a factor. I think whether it's 60-40 or, whatever it's going to be. I think Bud and Spence will work it out. If it goes the way it's supposed to go, Crawford should face Boots Ennis and then Errol Spence in the fall, like September, something like that. And then we'll have Spence as the unified welterweight the undisputed welterweight champion of the world at that point. And then I could see Spence just retiring because he's dealing with that retinal thing. And hopefully he comes out of the whole deal with no problems or whatever. I don't want him to like move up to 154 and start jacking around up there. I think he's done. Just for injury's sake and whatnot, he ought to have some pretty good paydays. He could do some announcing or something else, but he definitely has two very good fights left in him. And I don't see Crawford beating him, and I don't see Ugas beating him either. All right. So until we get to the next topic, which will be soon enough, we'll probably have Mr. D. Plagan and Mr. Antonio Norman with us. Make sure, fellas, you like and subscribe to the channel. This is RBK, yours truly, in the building, signing off. Peace. Oh, Merry Christmas.